extreme weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Meganson. Severe weather coverage starts right now.
A tornado warning is in effect for parts of southern Clark County on this Wednesday afternoon. Confirmed tornado happening near Jackson, pushing off to the east. Hope you're having a nice Wednesday afternoon. Current time is 2:17 p.m. and we have now a possible tornado very near the city of Jackson, pushing off to the east. This is going to affect parts of southern Clark County, near Rockville, out here near the Jackson Municipal Airport, and also near areas like Alma and Gainstown over the next few minutes. This is a tornado warning that's in effect until 3 p.m. local time. We actually also have two new severe thunderstorm warnings that have just been triggered for parts of Clark and northern Monroe counties as well. So a situation that's escalated quite quickly over the last few minutes. And again, this is a tornado warning that has just been issued for parts of southern Clark County. Main call to action is for the city of Jackson. So if you're at Jackson, Alabama, we need you to implement that tornado safety plan now, as we have a possible tornado very near the city of Jackson. At the moment, the Weather Service is actually calling this an observed tornado. So we're going to get into our NWS chat system and see exactly what this is about. But again, for the folks in Jackson, Alabama, we need you to implement your tornado safety plan now. Be away from windows, away from doors, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. This is not going to be a situation that lasts very long, most likely, and most of the storms today are not going to produce tornadoes. This is one of those situations. This has really become a cell that's isolated, and it's producing a tornado most likely near Jackson. This is exclusively for Clark County. This has nothing to do with Washington County. The storm up here in central Clark County coming into Grove Hill and Fulton and areas near Watley, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. And so, yes, you're going to have some nasty weather in parts of central Clark County over the next little bit. But again, the concern is down here in the southern part of the county where we have this possible tornado happening near Jackson, Alabama. Let's zoom in pretty tight. We'll zoom into this area. And again, here's the city of Jackson. Possible tornado, it looks like, is going to pass the core of Jackson a bit to the south, perhaps near the municipal airport out here on the south side of town. In addition to the tornado risk, there also is a risk of hail up to the size of a quarter with this storm as it pushes off to the east. And again, this is going to be coming out towards Walker Springs, Alma, and Gainstown and Rockville over the next 5 to 10 minutes. And so possible tornado is very near Jackson and the Jackson Municipal Airport, very near the Tombigbee River. This tornado is likely south of U.S. Highway 43. Here's the river bridge that goes from Jackson over to Leroy. This is Washington County here. This is Clark County. And so tornado warning, southern Clark County, valid until 3 p.m. It would be immensely helpful if you can help us get this information out by tagging folks who you may know in Jackson, Alabama. And again, this is over in Clark County. The Weather Service triggering this warning over the last few minutes. This is the first tornado warning that our area has had basically since the month of March. And so it's been about 2 months since we've had a tornado warning locally. But this storm in Clark County has ramped up to the point that the Weather Service is suggesting that we need you to implement that tornado safety plan near Jackson right now. Again, looking at some things off camera, we're going to go into NWS chat and see if we can get a good grip of exactly why this warning was issued. You can see it on velocity. It ramped up pretty quick. I'll show you that in just a minute, but the signature was certainly not the most classic tornado signature I've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination. But again, the Weather Service calling this an observed tornado, and the reason for that is the Clark County EMA reported a tornado near Jackson. And so with that said, again, the Weather Service still calling this an observed tornado near Jackson. Tell you what, let's go over to the iPad view and show you radar scope, because you can kind of get a semblance here of exactly what happened and triggered the warning. Here's the Tombigbee River, right? This serves as the border between Washington County here and Clark County here. And the possible tornado has now, there really just is not much of a signature. But because Clark County EMA reported a tornado being down near Jackson. We need you to take this seriously, even though the signature doesn't look that impressive. We did have a report from a reliable service over here in Clark County. A government organization reported a tornado. And again, if there indeed was a tornado down, probably at this point, several minutes ago now, coming into Jackson. But again, that signature has fizzled out. So hopefully what's happened is that the storm briefly ramped up, produced a tornado, and is now gone. That is kind of the hope in this situation. Now, don't get me wrong, you're still going to have nasty weather in Jackson over the next few minutes. In fact, let's zoom into southern Clark County, and you'll see that this storm is likely producing small hail in addition to torrential downpours of heavy rain. No doubt this storm is producing heavy rain extending from near Toddtown up here all the way back down to Sunflower and Wagerville on US Highway 43. If there's a tornado down, it's going to be right in through here, near that notch on the south side of Jackson, out near the municipal airport. While we look at this tornado warning, I also do want to share that we have a severe thunderstorm warning in place for central Clark County. That includes places like Grove Hill, Watley, also areas near Zimco along US Highway 84, areas near Gosport, the Old Line Road, and Cyrene, also involved in the severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 3 o'clock local time for central Clark County. And again, the Weather Service is calling this a severe thunderstorm capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and large hail up to quarter size coming into Grove Hill over the next few minutes. So if you know someone in Grove Hill, you may want to let them know about that. We also have a separate severe thunderstorm warning in place for parts of northern Monroe County. All right, so here's Monroe County. This is Wilcox County. And we have likely small hail in addition to gusty winds and obviously torrential downpours of heavy rain coming into areas near Alabama Highway 41, south of Camden. This warning, this severe thunderstorm warning for northern Monroe County includes Vredenburg, Hubert, also areas near Natchez and Buena Vista. This is way up here north of Monroeville in the Red Hills of Monroe County. Here's Monroeville down here. This is northern Monroe County, and again, this is the northern, 20% of Monroe County, including Alabama Highway 41 north of Monroeville. Very hilly, beautiful terrain up here. Currently under a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, the reason that we've come on the air live on this Wednesday evening is because of this. This is an active tornado warning, and this is in place for parts of Clark County, Alabama, specifically for the city of Jackson, Gainestown, Alma, also areas near Rockville involved in the tornado warning, valid until 3 p.m. local time. So we will see what the Weather Service decides to do about this. Typically speaking, in the summertime around here, it is exceedingly difficult to get a storm to produce a tornado unless you have a tropical system like a hurricane or a tropical storm involved. Typically, these pulse-type pop-up thunderstorms that we're seeing today do not produce tornadoes. Now, that's not to say that they can't, but 99% of the time, they don't. And in this situation, again, the Weather Service received a report of what was a tornado, and they'll go out there in the days ahead and do an assessment. They could easily find, by the way, that this was a creepy looking cloud that looked like a tornado that may not have actually been one. And so to be completely frank, I wouldn't be shocked if that were the situation, but at the same time I also wouldn't be shocked if indeed there was a brief tornado. That can happen in some of these summertime storms. Let's zoom out across the region because again, we're here for this tornado warning, but I do want to show you elsewhere what we've got going on. Pop-up thunderstorms are going to be the norm over the next several hours across our local area. These storms down here in Mobile County and Baldwin County are under severe limits. Let's zoom in there briefly and we'll show you that we've got loud and proud storms happening near Pritchard, Saraland, Satsuma. You've also got heavy storms firing near the Perdido River, which is the state border between Baldwin County and Escambia County, Florida here, Baldwin County and Alabama. Very heavy rain happening near Beulah, also areas near Seminole. You've also got areas down here on the north side of the bay, north of Orange Beach, involved in just heavy rain, pop-up normal thunderstorms that happen in the summertime around here. But again, let's get in there and look at our tornado warning, because this is why we came on the air. We're focusing on southern Clark County. And if there is a tornado down, it's going to be down here on the south side of town, south side of Jackson, coming into Rockville over the next few minutes. But again, just kind of, you know, we call it like we see it around here. That signature that we're seeing on radar is, you know, not the best thing I've ever seen, to be completely frank. And that's good. That's what we want to see on velocity. Hopefully this was just a super brief tornado that happened and now it's gone away. I think indeed that's probably the case here, that, you know, when this thing was just firing up several minutes ago, the signature was a bit stronger. It still wasn't, you know, super impressive, but nonetheless, we want you to take this seriously if you are in Jackson or areas near Rockville. And again, it's been about 2 months since we had a tornado warning locally. And for the folks in Jackson, let's give it a few more minutes. This is what you need to be doing right now. If you can get underground, that's great. If you can't, that's okay. We want you to be in a site-built structure away from windows and doors, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. Grab a helmet, something to protect your head. If you're in Rockville, Alma, also areas near Jackson, back over to Walker Springs. You are involved in this active tornado warning that's on the board until 2:45 p.m. I said 3 o'clock earlier. The warning expires at 2:45 p.m. And this is the only warning that we've got at this point. This is the only warning in terms of a tornado warning that we have anywhere across Alabama at this point. And again, we are not expecting widespread, significant, severe weather today in terms of tornadoes. Yes, we will absolutely have more in the way of heavy pop-up thunderstorms producing lots of lightning, gusty winds, small hail, and loud thunder. But I think that this very well could end up being the only tornado warning of the day. Just seeing that we've got a new mesoscale discussion that's been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. Again, zooming into our tornado warning in southern Clark. Again, just to get your geographical bearings straight, if you're just now joining us, it's now 2:30 p.m. and this is Highway 43 over here in West Alabama. US Highway 43 is this main line right here. Wagerville is here. This is State Highway 56 that goes over to Chatham. This warning has nothing to do with Washington County, Alabama. This is strictly an issue for Clark County. Here's the city of Jackson. And again, the concern is now basically south and east of Jackson. Let's give it 5 more minutes and I'll be able to give you an all clear in the city of Jackson. But just as a course of least regret, let's stay in that tornado safe place if you're in the city of Jackson. And again, for the folks in Rockville, or if you live down here on the south side of town near the Jackson Municipal Airport, you're really in the core danger zone at this point. If indeed there's a tornado down, it's going to be happening near those two locations. We'll zoom in real tight. Here's the airport. Here's the city of Jackson itself up here. This is Highway 43. River Bridge is right here that goes over the Tombigbee River, which is here. And you also are probably having some small hail on the south side of Jackson, if not hail up to nickel or quarter size. That's kind of the upper echelon of what the hail size would be with this particular thunderstorm. Let's go back over to the iPad view, the radar scope view, and show you that, again, there's just hardly anything there. I mean, just to be frank. And so I wouldn't be shocked if we see a cancellation of this warning. Now, don't get me wrong, the weather's bad. There's lots of thunder, lots of lightning, heavy rain, small hail, that sort of thing. But the overall tornado signature in here has really, gone away over the last few minutes. And so there's really, just not much in the way of rotation with this storm at all. Let's check on our other storms. Up here in central Clark, we have a severe thunderstorm warning, and for southern Wilcox and far northern Monroe counties, I don't see anything in the way of rotation there. And look, that's the norm this time of year. When we have these pop-up thunderstorms in the summertime that develop very quickly and sometimes go away just as fast, it is highly, highly unusual for us to see a tornado warning needed in a situation like this. And so I fully expect that this will be the only tornado warning of the day, most likely. I should mention as well, let's see if we can go over to our there's the satellite radar composite. This is the view I wanted, the SPC convective outlook. We mentioned this morning in the morning video that we had a low-end severe weather risk for inland counties. And when I did that video, I mentioned that it was driven by the potential for damaging straight line winds. And that's really going to be the concern over the next few hours. That has now expanded across our local area. And so we all have a low-end level 1 out of 5 severe weather risk due to the potential for gusty winds over the next few hours. While I'm here, let me actually check and make sure. Yeah, the Storm Prediction Center did not include any formal tornado risk today. And so, again, this is one of those situations where I think it's going to be very, very isolated in nature. We currently have 3 warnings ongoing as of 2:32 p.m. We'll zoom in to parts of Clark County, and this can be a little confusing. We have a tornado warning in the far southern part of the county for Jackson, Rockville, areas near Alma, and then we have a severe thunderstorm warning, which means nasty storms moving into parts of Grove Hill, areas near Fulton, also Watley, right here on US 84, Cyrene, which is right here on the old line road. You've also got Simcoe and areas just north of Toddtown involved in this severe thunderstorm warning for parts of central Clark County. Tell you what, let's turn the radar data back on here so that we can get a better vantage point of exactly what's happening. And tell you what, let me show you the whole state while we're at it, because I tell you what, this is just quintessential pop-up storm season that we've got going on across Alabama right now. You can see that we've got storms as far north as Double Springs and Coleman, north of Birmingham. And the storms in our area have developed really on the west side of the state in parts of Clark, Washington, Wilcox, and Monroe counties over the last several minutes. But again, we are here because of this active tornado warning that has just been triggered really about 20 minutes ago now for parts of Clark County. And you know what? With that said, the Weather Service has just canceled the warning. Let's go back over to LB1. And that tornado warning is now gone. And so just getting a confirmation that the tornado warning is done for Clark County. And so with that said, I know things escalated pretty quickly there, but for Jackson, Alma, Rockville, areas near Jackson Municipal Airport, Gainestown, all clear from the tornado risk. Again, we're giving you an all clear from the tornado risk. It is done at this point, and the imminent tornado threat has come to a close across our entire area. And so now, in its wake, we're left with these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. Getting a message from the Weather Service, and I'm going to read it to you similar to what it says. The tornado warning has been canceled for Clark County. No more tornado warning for Clark County. No further reports were received. And so the Weather Service has indicated that the warning is canceled. They're calling this a localized brief spin-up that likely happened. Primary threat for the rest of the afternoon going to be damaging wind gusts, as we've been advertising, and also small hail in the smaller thunderstorms. And look, there have been reports in Jackson that there's been some light tree damage, and I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm just reading you the reports off the screen from our partners at the Weather Service. Light tree debris reported around Industrial Road, and so that's down there on the south side of Jackson. And look, we have 2 ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings that continue until 3 o'clock for parts of central Clark and also far northern Monroe counties, and for much of southern Wilcox County. So here's what I want to do. Let's talk about the warnings that we've got ongoing. Let's look at a broad view across the region, and then we'll go back to covering these storms in the Red Zone Weather app, because again, we are not expecting more in the way of tornado warnings over the next few hours. First things first, let's zoom into this storm coming into Grove Hill. You might have upwards of quarter-sized hail coming into Grove Hill and areas near Watley over the next few minutes. Same thing at Simcoe, same thing at Cyrene. We would encourage no travel on US Highway 84 from Grove Hill back over to Gosport, as we have a strong storm, a severe storm, capable of producing gusty winds and large hail. Same thing on Old Line Road. And all these areas in central Clark County, no travel advised at this point, because we could have gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour coming in from the east. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning and not a tornado warning. And so again, a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. We also have a separate severe thunderstorm warning for far northern Monroe County. This storm has reached Alabama Highway 41 near Veredenburg and scratch ankle coming into areas near Beatrice, Buena Vista, and Natchez over the next few minutes. So gusty winds and hail possible there. The warning for southern Clark, the tornado warning, it's gone, right? It's completely gone. There is no severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Jackson or anywhere at this point south of Toddtown. If you're south of Toddtown in Clark County, you're A-OK right now. Yes, you've got lightning, yes, thunder, heavy rain, small hail, but the tornado risk has come to a close. And I see that the Weather Service is going to allow this warning in central Clark County to go off the board at 2:45 p.m. And so you see this expires at 2:45. They have indicated they're going to let this one go as well, as it appears to be weakening a bit. It's still going to be a strong storm, but it's weakening as it comes into Grove Hill. This one coming into northern Monroe still looks a bit vigorous on radar. And I wouldn't be shocked if we needed a new severe thunderstorm warning potentially for parts of northern Monroe County near Beatrice and points over to the east like Old Texas in, say, 20 minutes. So that's something to watch. We'll see if that storm weakens over the next few minutes. But the good news is, as of this moment, current time is 2:38 p.m. We have no active tornado warnings for any part of South Alabama or Northwest Florida. The warning was in effect for parts of southern Clark County. That is now done. We also have storms firing up across parts of Mobile and Baldwin counties. And you can see here that the Weather Service has flagged this one in northern Mobile County with a special weather statement. You see that polygon coming on the board. That simply means that we could have gusty winds and small hail near Chinchula over the next few minutes. Nasty storms also happening in parts of southern Baldwin County and southern Mobile County near Bayou La Batre, a small storm happening there. Storms near the Highway 98 corridor just to the east of Alberta near Lillian, not moving very much, could have some minor nuisance flooding issues in southern Baldwin County near Lillian and perhaps near Seminole as well over the next few minutes. But again, because we don't have any active tornado warnings on this Wednesday afternoon, we're going to go back to covering storms in the Red Zone Weather app. And of course, if we happen to have more tornado warnings, we'll come back on Facebook Live and YouTube Live to bring you the very latest. Again, we've been here covering a tornado warning for parts of southern Clark County. All clear for Clark County. No more tornado warning. The threat is over. Pop-up storms to continue over the next few hours. I hope you have a good afternoon. Next regularly scheduled video will be posted by 7:15 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone Weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.